So now let's talk about when one should start preparing for the treks. It's a most asked question and answers vary, but I try to define it in a very large context so that your perspective about going for expedition is slightly enhanced. And at least that's what something I apply to myself. And maybe that will be of interest to you. Ideally, you should take at least 2 months or 8 weeks in for that matter before you take your first flight to the respective base camps. In that time, apart from focusing on your essentials, backpack, essential gears, clothing, etc., you should also think about the geography of the place. You should be a cartographer in some sense and try to think your peak is in which range, where you are going, how is it important, are there any climatic conditions which you should be aware of, how's the culture, the local culture. Try to make that sort of the holistic view of any expedition what you plan to take, and based on that what you can do is you can make some add-on trips to it. Like in case you reach to Himachal and usually the base camps, let's say, remain in Manali, Kasol, what you can do is you'll take a time off, maybe go to a explore the culture there. There are a lot of there's this Manikaran Gurudwara which is there. Many smaller peaks are there. Some of the cafes are there. So try to make your whole expedition in that format. So what happens is when you go for apart from trekking, you also explore and you contribute yourself in your best of your abilities towards the local economy. I think that's very important. I would say that if you have a decent amount of time, it's very good that you make it the best out of it. And in case it's on a very immediate basis, I think at least you need 2 weeks to prepare for your essentials. That's how I think you will get the most out of any expedition which you go for in Himalayas. So taking some cue from the first question about how long one should take, a very important component to that is exercising. So what happens is that if you're a moderate, if you're involved into a moderate activities, physical activities on a daily basis, it's slightly easier for you. But for people who are, let's say, not very actively involved, it's very important that you work on your lower body as well as have some, cardio based weight pull exercises. Both of them are important because your upper body is will be responsible in fact for your baggage what you're carrying on the backpack, and at the same time the lower body is something which gives you mobility, because things get when you're into that steep area, it's very important that you have a very strong core as well as your lower body is able to provide that sort of power to you. So for that, make a regime in that focus on 5 exercises, different variations of squats. Have it in a repetition mode of sets of 5, and then what you can do is you can increase it if required. Keep variation in those exercises so that it doesn't feel monotonous and you're completely involved into it. In fact, before you start all this regime, what you can also do is that go for a small run or a jog. Okay, at least a run and a jog gives you momentum. It gives it is something which boosts or opens up your muscles for your entire body. So it's easier for you to get into that regime mode. So make sure that you make a schedule out of it and don't go random. I'll really emphasize on focusing on your lower body as well as your core. And apart from that, the calisthenics what I talked about. So apart from exercising, it's very important that you put right fuel onto your body. And for that right fuel, you should acclimatize your body or your metabolism to something what you'll be having while you're on treks. So what you can do is at least a month before, start eating or at least practicing those sort of food habits. Because what happens is when you are in those conditions and your metabolism is not adapting to those conditions like low oxygen levels or the cold climate, what will happen is you will face constipation or maybe bad stomach issues, because of which your overall experience will get hampered. You won't be able to enjoy that. So diet is very important. Now let's talk about how you can shape up that. First, I think very important is that you focus on low release, high calorie foods. What I mean by that is, as trekking is not a very fast sport. It's a slow sport, but a very powerful one. So you need a lot of endurance into your body, and endurance is something which you build. So for that to happen, you should eat something like a oatmeal. Okay, it doesn't give you instant energy. It releases energy in a slow pace. So those sort of even the broken wheats. So what happens is they release a slow energy to your overall body. Apart from that, if you talk about something like chocolates or energy bars, those products are basically made to give you that instant boost, which is something maybe which is required, let's say, when you are running, when you are going for marathons, when you're going for, let's say, sprints. So you should always keep that, but the point is that you should focus on that food which gives you low release, high carbs food. Apart from that, you should always have some lean sort of protein. Okay, like for example, egg. If you're a core non-vegetarian, what you can do is that you should take care that your metabolism is not something which will be very easy when you're on those heights. So have those lean proteins. If you are having chocolates and something like glucose, it's good to have, but I think that should come out as the last resort. I don't recommend it having a pack of energy boosters and all that sort of thing. It's important that when you're on trek, you should always have some sort of intermittent fasting. It doesn't drain you. It keeps you, light, as well as you should focus on carrying water bottles with you. Even when you're walking, you should have at least 4 to 5 liters of water a day. This is very important because that hydration will give you the best energy. And apart from that, some sort of lean protein sort of thing, which will give you, that muscle build, like whatever the muscles you're losing on a daily basis because of, the treks and all that. At least it will give that build to you. So these are the important, diet regimes which you should follow. And importantly, you should have that space of, getting acclimatized to it. Body checkups. So I think it's one of the mandatory guideline with I think YHA and couple of other trek groups which are there. But apart from that, I have also seen some of the trek groups not even mandating it in the first place, and people just going for it without and in fact even the trekkers are just making some false notes and taking medical histories and all not very seriously. But I really emphasize on this that you should have it. I have seen those incidences happening, and one of them in which I remember, there was this guy who, when we reached to the third base camp, in fact from second camp actually, he was having trouble while breathing because of the low oxygen issue. And when we reached to the third camp, in the night he was having a lot of fluctuation with the oxygen levels. He was not able to breathe. We had this auxiliary arrangements. We tried to put him with oxygen masks, but it was not even making him stabilized. And finally, after 2 and 3 hours of struggle there, trying to stabilize his condition, we had to bring him back to the base camp altogether. And eventually, the doctors, when they examined him, got him stabilized, we informed his family, and it came to a realization that this guy had a medical history related to that. So if we would have known, we would have made those arrangements, or maybe we would have been more cautious about it. Even he, as well as the other trekkers, won't have been in this situation. So it's very important that you take the body checkups as well as a full body checkup, in fact, very seriously. If you have any medical history, even if you had any issues with your joints, if you had some people have this fear with heights. In fact, even if you have things related to hemoglobin, your blood pressure, I think you should really communicate it to your respective trek leaders and the groups you are going with. Importantly, you should always go for a travel insurance. This is not something which is very common in India. Like, this is one of the thing which I find rarely any Indians, or at least people doing it in going for treks in India. But actually, I just make sure that whenever I have gone for treks, I have some set of travel insurance in place. And it's important, because you don't know, like, what just turns out and it becomes fatal. We are making that choice, and that choice has to be more informed one. Make sure that you get a full body checkup done. Keep measuring your oxygen levels. Go for some jogs and acclimatize your body. And I think this acclimatization we have already discussed, but I really emphasize be in right shape and form, as well as take your diets very seriously, and most of all, get a full body checkup done. It's very important. One should not get away with it.